what you want. You want to know about her. Livinia Cole. That was her name. She was a witch, but she wasn't always a witch. Early 1800s. Livinia Cole was a happily married woman, beautiful by all accounts. Wanted children more than anything in this world, but she had none. She and her husband tried everything, prayers, blessings, any old wives' tale that they could think of. As them years passed by, Livinia had begun to worry that maybe the Lord's will was going to leave her old and childless. Her husband would tell her that they needed to persevere in prayer. Funny thing about perseverance, though, it's got to be wed to patience. You lose that patience now, perseverance is left all alone. Nothing more than a jilted lover with a mind for doing bad things. So Livinia Cole turned to witchcraft. She hid it from her husband at first, but as her desperation grew, so too did the darkness inside her. Townsfolk began to whisper, spitting about things she'd done, things she hadn't, things she had yet to do. Well, when that talk reached her husband, he took his beloved, and he moved the two of them out to this small shack isolated out in the woods down by the creek. Then one night he says to her, maybe, just maybe, they weren't meant to have children. Well, he might as well have taken a knife, driven it right through her heart. That night when he laid down to bed, that's exactly what she did to him. She took a knife, stabbed her husband to death in his sleep, over and over, for all the children he wouldn't give her. And she laid down next to him. She slept. When she woke up, that morning sun had shone its light on what she'd done. She cried, more alone than she'd ever felt. Filled with regret, desperate to keep her husband a part of her forever, she cooked his body and she ate him. Salted his bones with her tears and licked them clean. And she took them bones, she tossed them in the creek, watched them wash away. Started walking all up and down the banks of that creek, moaning out her loneliness and sorrow to the moon. They say that on a still evening, they could hear her in the town. But that moaning started to get closer. Livinia Cole was coming into town, crying up and down the streets at night, looking in the windows. That's when Livinia started to steal the children. Rescue parties. They'd go out looking, never be seen again. Townsfolk, they were terrified. Locked their doors, boarded up their windows, She still got in. She started sending out creatures. Nobody knows where they came from. Evil, like nothing they'd ever seen before. They called them draggers. Said they dragged themselves into town and dragged the children away. Livinia, she knew her time was short. So she tried to keep her family together the only way she knew how. She ate them. She ate them all. Tossed their bones into the water. Yeah, eventually the town came out in force. Every villager accounted for. They lit their torches and they stormed the creek. A lot of folks died that night. But come morning, they'd killed every dragger. And they killed the witch. They cut out her heart. They hung her over her creek. They set fire to her, and they let her burn till the flames snapped that rope, and her burning bones fell into the water, washed away. They say that every villager, man, woman, and child, stomped on Lavinia's heart that night, tracking her blood all up and down the banks of Widow's Creek. They say that's why that ground is cursed. Cursed by the witch's blood. Haunted to this very day. Widow's Creek's got lots of stories to tell. Like that one about your brother and his friends. Nearly drowned out there about 5 years ago. Wonder how that happened. Sweet dreams, Becca.